Welcome to Miss Scarlett, the place to be feminine. Subscribe and enjoy. She selected a floaty, knee-length sundress in a soft yellow floral print, with a little white cardigan over top. Classic, feminine, very pretty, and will do white sandals to match. Oswin nodded, trusting her fashion expertise. He took the dress and went to put it on, stepping into a lacy pair of panties and foregoing a bra since the dress had a structured bodice. The fabric whispered over his hairless legs as he slipped it on. Oswin emerged and twirled for Yara, feeling giddy and light. The skirt flared out enchantingly around his smooth calves. Yara wolf whistled approvingly. "Look at you! Prettiest woman on the block!" She helped Oswin into the white sweater and strappy sandals, then accessorized with a dainty gold necklace. They stood together in front of the full-length mirror, taking in the full look. Oswin hardly recognized himself. From the soft, lightly made-up face, framed by his short but feminine pixie cut, to the airy dress draping his slender frame, he looked like a whole new person, or rather, like a hidden part of himself finally revealing itself to the light. Yara wrapped her arms around him from behind, meeting his eyes in the mirror with a loving smile. "There she is, my beautiful." The feminine form of his name sent a little zing of delight through Oswin's chest. Yara gave him a little squeeze. "All right, love, I'm going to throw on some clothes and a bit of makeup so we can head out. But I have to say, you've set the beauty bar pretty high. It'll be tough to measure up next to you." Oswin flushed at the compliment, still getting used to seeing himself this way. As Yara got herself ready, he took a few moments to dig through his wallet. He carefully extracted his driver's license and a few credit cards, transferring them to a small floral clutch that matched the colors of his dress. By the time Yara emerged in a breezy blue sundress of her own, Oswin was ready to go, if still a bit nervous. Yara took his hand and gave it a bolstering squeeze. "Okay, let's hit the town. Wherever you want to go first. It's your day." They stepped out the front door together into the warm spring sunshine. A delicate breeze ruffled the hem of Oswin's skirt around his knees. He took a deep breath of the fragrant air, Yara's hand clasped tight in his, and a smile spread across his pink lips. For the first time in his life, strolling down the sidewalk in a pretty dress and sandals, Oswin felt fully, blissfully at home in his own skin. With Yara by his side and the whole day ahead of them, everything seemed possible. He knew it was just the beginning of a whole new chapter, one where he could live authentically as his true self, both inside and out. "Let's start with the park," Oswin decided, surprising himself with the note of confidence in his voice. "I want to feel the grass under my feet, and maybe stop and smell some flowers along the way." Yara grinned at him, eyes twinkling with pride and adoration. "The park it is! Lead the way, beautiful!" Hand in hand, the two women set off down the street together, ready to greet the world as their fullest, freest selves. Oswin knew there would still be challenges ahead, internal and external, but for now, he let himself get swept up in the sheer joy and relief of it all. As Oswin and Yara strolled hand in hand through the lush green park, the warm breeze playfully ruffled the hem of Oswin's pretty sundress. She couldn't help but marvel at how different the world felt now that she was fully expressing her true self. The grass tickling her freshly shaven legs, the caress of soft fabric against her skin, the lightness in her step. It all combined to create a sense of euphoria she'd never experienced before. Yara gave Oswin's hand a gentle squeeze, sensing her husband's quiet wonder. "How are you feeling, love?" Oswin took a deep breath, savoring the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers. "Free," she said simply, her voice soft with emotion. "Like I'm finally breathing air for the first time." Yara's heart swelled with love and pride. She raised their joined hands to her lips, pressing a tender kiss to Oswin's knuckles. "I'm so happy for you, baby. You deserve to feel this way always." They continued along the winding path, Oswin delighting in the sensations of petals brushing her calves and the sun warming her bare shoulders. Every so often, they passed other park-goers, families with playful children, other couples out for a stroll. Oswin tensed slightly each time, an old habit born of fear and shame. But to her surprise and relief, no one spared them a second glance. It seemed that to the outside world they were simply two women out enjoying a beautiful day together. As they rounded a bend in the path, Oswin spotted a vibrant bed of tulips up ahead. Red, yellow, pink, and purple blooms swaying gently in the breeze. An idea sprang to her mind, daring and spontaneous. "Let's take some pictures," Oswin suggested, tugging Yara toward the flowers with a mischievous smile. "I want to capture this moment." Yara grinned, catching Oswin's excitement. "Of course! Anything for my beautiful girl!" They spent the next several minutes snapping photos amongst the tulips, Oswin posing prettily while Yara played photographer. Oswin felt positively giddy, amazed at her own boldness. Never in her wildest dreams had she imagined she'd one day be twirling her skirt and tossing her hair for the camera, feeling beautiful and carefree. After Yara captured the perfect shot of Oswin laughing with her face tipped to the sun, Oswin pulled her close for a series of selfies. They made silly faces and snapped romantic poses, giggling like teenagers as they scrolled through the results. "Okay, new profile pic," Yara declared, tapping to upload a particularly adorable image of Oswin smiling shyly with a tulip tucked behind her ear. Oswin felt a flutter of nerves as she watched Yara post the photo, knowing it would be seen by all their friends and family. But beneath the butterflies was a growing sense of rightness and relief. No more hiding, no more secrets. This was who she was, and she was ready for the world to know it. Their impromptu photo shoot complete, Oswin and Yara continued their leisurely circuit of the park, pausing now and then to sit on a bench and people watch or admire some pretty landscaping. They chatted and laughed, stealing sweet kisses, both marveling at how light and unburdened they felt. It was as if a great weight had been lifted, allowing them to connect in a deeper way. As the afternoon stretched on and the sun began its lazy descent, Yara checked the time on her phone and raised her eyebrows. "Wow, I can't believe how long we've been out here. Time sure flies when you're having fun with a gorgeous woman." She winked at Oswin. Oswin ducked her head, cheeks warming at the compliment she was still getting used to hearing. "I could stay here all day, but weren't we going to do some shopping too?" "Yes!" Yara bounced on her toes. "Let's definitely do that. I saw a few cute boutiques on the drive over that I think you'll love." Oswin stood, smoothing her skirt and reaching for Yara's hand. "Lead the way, my personal stylist." Yara giggled and gave a mock salute. Aye, milady." Hand in hand, they made their way out of the park and back to the car. The radio played a happy tune as they drove the few blocks to the shopping district, windows down to let in the balmy breeze. Oswin watched the pastel storefronts go by, a thrill of anticipation zipping through her. She'd always loved pretty, feminine things, but had never dared to publicly shop for them before. Now, with Yara by her side and a newfound confidence blooming within her, she couldn't wait to dive in. Yara parallel parked in front of a row of quaint shops and hurried around to open Oswin's door for her. "After you, beautiful." Oswin stepped out onto the sun-baked sidewalk, the warmth of the concrete seeping through the soles of her sandals. She took Yara's arm, and together they strolled toward the nearest boutique, a tiny bell jingling above the door as they entered. The shop was an airy jewel box of a space, with whitewashed walls and gleaming racks draped in colorful sundresses and floaty blouses. A friendly-looking saleswoman glanced up from where she was arranging a display of beaded jewelry. "Hello, ladies. Welcome in. Can I help you find anything today?" For a moment, Oswin froze, old anxieties rearing up, but Yara's steadying hand at the small of her back anchored her. She swallowed and summoned a smile. "Thank you. Yes, I'm looking to try some new styles. I'd love any suggestions you might have." The saleswoman, whose name tag read Brenda, returned Oswin's smile warmly. "Of course! We just got in some lovely sundresses that I think would suit you beautifully. Right this way." Brenda led them to a rack of breezy, brightly patterned dresses, pulling a few options and holding them up to Oswin with a critical eye. "Yes, I thought so. Your coloring is just divine for these shades, and the cut will really flatter your figure. Why don't you take a few to the fitting room, and we'll start there?" Oswin accepted the dresses, her nervousness quickly replaced by a bubbling excitement. "Thank you. I'll do that." She headed for the curtained changing area, Yara trailing behind with an armful of additional options she'd snagged. Inside the fitting room, Oswin quickly shimmied out of her yellow dress and hung it on a hook. She surveyed the bounty of beautiful garments, wondering where to begin. "Ooh, try the coral one first," Yara suggested, pointing to a flowy, off-the-shoulder number. "That color will be amazing with your eyes." Oswin obliged, loving how the coral fabric swished around her knees. When she stepped out to model it for Yara, her wife let out a low whistle. "Honey, you look incredible," Yara breathed. She circled around Oswin, taking in the full effect. "I mean, wow, that dress was made for you." Brenda nodded approvingly from where she was tidying a nearby rack. I agree. It fits you like a dream. And wait until you see it with these." She selected a pair of strappy gold sandals from a display and handed them to Oswin. "Try these on." Oswin slipped the sandals onto her feet, buckling the dainty ankle straps. The slight heel lent a whole new elegance to her silhouette. She did a little twirl, marveling at her reflection in the full-length mirror. "I love it," Oswin declared, eyes shining. "I'll take the whole outfit." Yara grinned. "That's my girl. Okay, what else should she try, Brenda?" They spent the next hour like that, Oswin modeling outfit after outfit, while Yara and Brenda oohed and awed. With each dress and blouse and skirt, Oswin felt her confidence swelling. She admired the drape of fabrics over her feminine curves, the pop of color against her creamy skin. Never before had clothing felt so joyful, so expressive, so right. By the time they headed to the register, arms laden with garments, Oswin was walking on air. She beamed as the saleswoman rang up her purchases, feeling deeply grateful for the easy acceptance and enthusiasm Brenda had shown. As they stepped back out onto the sidewalk with their shopping bags, Yara turned to Oswin with a radiant smile. "I am so proud of you. Do you know that? You walked into that store like you owned it, like the confident, beautiful woman you are." Unexpected tears pricked Oswin's eyes. She set her bags down and pulled Yara into a tight embrace. "I couldn't have done it without you," she murmured into her wife's shoulder. "Your love, your support, it means everything." Yara rubbed soothing circles on Oswin's back. "I will always support you, in every way. You never have to hide any part of yourself, ever again." They held each other for a long moment, oblivious to the passers-by on the busy street. When they finally pulled back, Yara looked at Oswin with a contemplative expression. "I've been thinking," Yara began, "and please don't feel any pressure. But what would you think about choosing a new name? One that reflects the woman you are, inside and out? Oswin blinked, considering the idea. A slow smile spread across her face. I think I'd like that very much. A fresh start, a name that feels like me. Yara nodded encouragingly. Did you have anything in mind? It's totally okay if not. We can brainstorm together. Oswin shook her head, still smiling. Actually, I think I do have a name. One that's been whispering to me for a while now, if I'm honest. She took a deep breath. Odessa. I'd like my name to be Odessa. Odessa, Yara repeated, her eyes shining with affection. It's perfect, unique and lovely, just like you. Odessa felt a happy flush warm her cheeks. Hearing Yara say her chosen name aloud made it feel real and right in a bone-deep way. Like she was finally stepping into her true identity. Thank you, Odessa said softly, for seeing me, supporting me, championing me. I feel like I can take on the world with you by my side. Yara took Odessa's hands in her own, running her thumbs over the delicate knuckles. And I feel like the luckiest woman in the world to be by your side. I love you, Odessa, more than anything. I love you too, Yara, so much. They came together for a sweet, lingering kiss, the first of many they would share as wives, as partners, as two women deeply in love. When they eventually broke apart, giddy and a bit breathless, Yara laced her fingers through Odessa's. What do you say we go home and have ourselves a little fashion show, I want to see you model all these gorgeous new outfits for me. Odessa giggled, thrilling at the thought. Yes, please. And then maybe I can treat you to a nice dinner out, somewhere I can show off one of my new dresses. Ooh, our first dinner date as wife and wife. I'm so in. Yara waggled her eyebrows playfully. Odessa laughed, feeling buoyant and buzzing with joy. As they gathered their bags and headed back to the car, she marveled at how much her life had changed in the span of a single day. How one decision, one brave step forward, had opened up a whole new world to her. There was still much to figure out. People to tell, legal changes to make, a lifetime of internalized shame to unpack and release. But Odessa knew she could face it all with Yara by her side and a burgeoning sense of self-love in her heart. For the first time, she was walking through the world as her authentic self. Not Oswin, the lonely, incomplete man she'd once been, but Odessa, the radiant, beaming woman she'd always been meant to be.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!